Is it too early? Can we all finally admit it? Nintendo Switch wins. They win this generation of the console wars. 140 million units sold. Everyone has a Nintendo Switch. PlayStation 5, only 55 million, and Xbox coming in at an abysmal 27 million units sold. Granted, console wars don't really matter anymore. It's not like it used to be. It's not nearly as fun and engaging, but after their terrible failure with the Wii U, I think Nintendo deserves this one. I would say this very well may be the very last console wars of any generation. I don't know if Xbox is going to make a 10th generation console. They seem to be moving towards streaming. And Nintendo won the war by doing what they do best. They made a handheld system. That's what they've always done best, the handheld gaming market. And they figured out a way to make a handheld an actual home console. It's genius. They did everything correct this time around. They hit it out of the park. Now, granted, there were competitors throughout their run, Lynx and Sega Game Gear. I myself had a Sega Game Gear, and that was not the greatest. I think the batteries lasted like an hour because of the color. Nintendo knew what they were doing. They're like, we can't do that yet. The technology's not there. But remember, Game Gear was pretty cool. It was fun. It just killed batteries. And my brother and I got Game Gears only after we unsuccessfully did not enjoy the Atari Lynx. Anyone remember the Atari Lynx? Leave a comment below if you remember the Atari Lynx. My dad insisted we buy it. I don't remember why, but he thought that was the wave of the future. Anyway, shortly after that, we traded him in for Sega Game Gears. Now, back to the story. Admittedly, I don't own a new Xbox. I don't. I have an Xbox One, I have an Xbox 360, I have a small catalog of games on those. I enjoy playing them every once in a while, but mostly I'm a fanboy of PlayStation and Nintendo. I own a PS5, and I own the PlayStation 5 Spider-Man 2 version of the PS5, which means I have one PS5 exclusive game, and after the 30-hour campaign of finishing Spider-Man 2, really the only time I pick up the PS5 controller is to play Red Dead Redemption 2 and make videos for the fine subscribers of this channel. Speaking of which, if you're not subscribed, go ahead and hit that link below. But Nintendo Switch rules everything. Nintendo Switch is phenomenal. It has games just out the wazoo. They have every game you can possibly imagine. It's incredibly comfortable. I have the OLED model with the Hori grips for the extra controller. I love the Nintendo Switch. I have a relatively complete library of Nintendo Switch games that I like to play, either physical or digital. I mostly play the Switch in handheld mode because Nintendo knows what they're doing. They make great handhelds. I have an OLED model. I sit on the couch and have the TV in the background. I love playing my Nintendo Switch. It's a great gaming console, and unless I'm looking for a little nostalgia and want to go back in time a little bit, sometimes I'll plug in the N64, even though I don't have a great library on that, but some of these games are just classics that always will be fun to me. Other than that, mostly I play the Switch, and still to this day, my Nintendo 3DS. The Nintendo 3DS is a great gaming console, even in 2024, and my library is relatively curated. I have two systems. One I take to work with me, the one on the right. It's a smaller one because it doesn't have the protective case. I keep it in, fits easily in my pocket. Unlike the Switch, it's very convenient to carry around. I have another that I take down to the dog park with me that has a really thick case. In case I drop it, for the most part, I use the smaller one for platformer games and something I can get through quickly at work. And the other I use for longer story format games, Pokemon, things like that. I love the Nintendo 3DS. It's a fantastic system with fantastic games, and it's much more comfortable to carry around than a Nintendo Switch. The Switch is twice the size almost. I can carry two 3DSs. And as for the games, I know Nintendo's moving most all of them over to the Switch, but I already own them on 3DS, so I don't need to rebuy them. And playing the game on 3DS that was made for the 3DS is the most optimal way to experience that game. That being said, the Nintendo Switch is a powerhouse, loaded with so many games. So if you don't own a 3DS, probably don't buy one. Everything's getting ported over to the Switch. You can just play it there. It has everything on it. I am baffled at the size of the library. Not to mention the ability to take it from room to room, plug it onto the stand, play on that TV, take it with you to work, wherever you want to go. It's versatile, it's incredible, and with that, I say the Nintendo Switch wins. Now, where does that leave everyone else? As for Xbox, I think they're stepping out of the home gaming console. They're gonna focus on computer, and they're mostly gonna focus on becoming the Netflix of gaming. Their Game Pass is the best deal as far as streaming gaming. I think that's what they're going to focus on. That's where they're moving. And they're a big corporation. They have other things to worry about. So does Sony. They have TVs. They have things like that. Nintendo only has games. And I think Microsoft is stepping back. I think they're out of the race. As for Sony, our middle child of the group, they won the last gen. They won with PS4, and by doing so, they have a lot of people who own a lot of digital games that are downloaded to their console that they can play on their PS5. They won the last war, which will continue for quite a while, and they developed a lot of great IPs during that time that they'll release sequels of, and they will continue to be in the market, I think, for the long haul. Leaving only Nintendo, who also won with IPs, overwhelmingly with IP. That is what Nintendo is known for. Their intellectual property of every single big thing that you can possibly think of, they own it all. Everything. They've got it all. They have 40 years of installing IP into the nostalgia of so many young people. Between that and their incredible spirit for changing gaming history and trying something new, whether that be good or bad, I think will keep them afloat for the foreseeable future. Only question is, how much of the market share can they seize when Microsoft steps out of the home gaming console market? That, and of course, will Nintendo Switch 2 be backwards compatible? Because if it is, with the library that the Switch has now, Nintendo Switch 2, that, if they're backwards compatible, they win. Nintendo wins. They will be the maker of video game consoles for a very long time. That'll do it. That will do it. They'll be done. It'll be over. Nintendo will win. What are your thoughts? Please leave a comment below. Let me know what you think. What's Xbox future? What are they doing? Will PlayStation be around in 20 years? Will Nintendo last for another couple hundred years? They started as a card-making company. How long ago? What do you think? Leave a comment below. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.